Hey, little guy. What's going on? You got a little scar on him. At least I got a little buddy. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. This is Sean, your ordinary car guy, and we are back out here working on the Jetta. So if you checked out the last video, you saw us get the front clip off, front bumper, radiator support, and we got the intake manifold off, we got the valve cover off, and we got the timing chain cover off. So now we are working on getting the head off. And if you saw last video, you saw that we had an issue with the head bolts, trying to get them out. We didn't have a bit that fit, and that's because VW has a specific bit and a specific head bolt pattern that it didn't fit any of the star bit sizes that they make. So we had to order the right bit, the custom bit for the VWs. We got that in today, so now we're back out working on it, getting ready to pull the head off. So before we get to that, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown and show you what I was talking about with the head bolt size and the pattern of it, and see why we had to order it and get the right one in. So here we have the head bolt, the actual VW head bolt tool, and then this is a T55. I don't have a T50 because I forgot that we did take a head bolt into the store when we were trying to find a star bit that would fit to try them out. So we don't actually have a 50 on us, but here is a comparison of the two. I mean, you can't really tell a difference in here. I mean, it really is close, but just from this you can't tell. But as you can see with the 50 right here, it does not fit. It doesn't go in all the way. It just rotates right along the top. But now we have the actual tool. It slides right in. I don't know if you can see it. There's, very, very, very little play. So, I mean, it kind of stinks that we had to buy an actual, tool specifically for this. And kind of one thing I was surprised of is that the aftermarket head bolts that I got to replace these still have the same, VW pattern. I would have just thought that they had a standardized, star pattern so they could fit generally anything, but it's kind of interesting to me that they didn't, and they actually do have the VW pattern. But we got the tool. We had to wait a few days. It is what it is. We have it now, so we can go ahead and take these head bolts out. So I broke the head bolts loose, but I just wanted to show you this. On these cams, you can see the head bolts are right there. So notice on the cams, there are lobes that allow you to fit the bit right in onto the head bolt. So make sure if you're taking these off, you spin the cam so that the lobe is over your head bolt, so it's the same on each side, just to give you that room. So it's pretty neat that they have it set up like that, rather than actually having to take the whole cam out to get the head on or off. So I got them broken loose, so now we're going to loosen them up, get them out, and then see if we can get the head off itself. All right, now we have made a progress to where we have all the head bolts out, and we have unhook the exhaust manifold, so where the exhaust manifold connects to the actual exhaust pipe, we've unhooked that. So we do still have it hooked up right here to the head, and we have done a little engineering to get our own lift, so just a chain and a come along, and we are ready to pull this head off. So once we start cranking this up, we will have to loop the timing chain over that right there, and then it should be free. So let's go. So we reassessed our situation, just making sure that would stay so we don't just drop it. No, hold on. All right, so we got it off. I'll pick back up. I need both hands to do this, so once we get the head completely off, then we'll pick it back up there. All right, so the issue we've been having is trying to get the timing chain off from around the thermostat inlet into the engine. So we just figured out how to do this. So if you're having this issue, here's what to do. Pull the chain over into the gap in the housing, slide it off the end, and just right out the front, just like that. So not so hard, right?
Not too bad once I figured it out.
All right, so now we actually have the head completely free, as you can see. So that's where we unhook the exhaust manifold from this down in here, from right there. You just unhook that. Now we'll just be able to grab this, unhook our chain, and we're done with it. You can set it off to the side. So we're gonna need both hands for this, so I'm gonna just set you up in a corner somewhere and hit to the time lapse. So here we go. We got the head off all the way. And you can take a look. Well, we just got some oil in there from when we loosened the head. Well, we got it off. We got the head gasket off. So we're just going to take a look at it now, see what we can find, and see if we can diagnose the issue. And here we have the head gasket. Basically, the only thing that we found is that we do have it burn out around the cylinder right here, and that does align with the cylinder that we think we're having issues with firing. So that's a good sign right there. I mean, it's not a major blowout or major deal, but that may be the issue. And the valves on the head are a little dirty. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean the head up, get all that garbage off of it, and clean up the cylinders and the pistons what we can, try to flush out the block what we can, and then put a new head gasket on it, put the head back on it, and see what happens. So I mean, you know, we don't exactly know what's going on with it, but we're going to get this back on, see what happens. If we need new coil packs for it, then we'll try that. If we need new spark plugs, we'll try that. But basically, we're just going to try to clean this head up, clean the block up, get it back on there, and see how it runs. And we actually did get a code reader, which would have been nice to use before we started tearing things down. But we'll be able to hook that up and see what codes it may be popping up, clear it out, try to start it, and go from there. But that's going to be it for tonight. Probably continue this part tomorrow once we start cleaning up the head and cleaning up the block. So hang on, it's not over yet. We'll catch you tomorrow. It is the next day out here, just getting back out. So now the plan is to clean the head, get the head, the valves, and everything as clean as we can. First, we're going to hit it with some WD-40 to try to break down some of the crud that's on it. So we're going to hit it with the WD-40, let it sit there for a few minutes, and then we'll hit it with a wire brush. So we now have the head clean, and as you can see, it turned out really nice. Got a lot of that carbon buildup and garbage off of it. And we may have just found our issue. So as we were cleaning this, we noticed that this valve right here, this exhaust valve, was really loose. And then on further inspection, we noticed, I don't know, you can't really see it, but this valve isn't closing. So you can see this one, that one's tight and closed, but this one is still loose. So looks like we may have just found our issue. That would explain, and this is the first cylinder, so that would explain why we were didn't see any kind of ignition on the spark plug, and why this cylinder was causing us the issues. So our next step that we're going to take is we're going to pull out the cams and check the valves and all that's involved with that to see if we can sort out the issue there, and then just, you know, go from there, I guess, see if we need to replace the valve or, you know, replace anything that's involved with that. But that's what we're doing next. All right, update for you, and it's a good one. So as you can see, we got the cam cover off, which is right here. Got both of the cams out and got the exhaust manifold off so we could set it flat. And we found our issue. So this right here, the valve spring, as you can see, it's not supposed to do that. And then you can clearly see right there how it broke off. That fits perfectly in there. Fits perfectly. So that's why we were having the issues, why the valve wouldn't close, and probably the reason behind the whole deal. So, you know, who knows how that happened and what all led to it, whether it's the head gasket and, you know, fluid going into the cylinder and just, you know, causing a chain reaction. But anyways, we believe we found our issue, which is really good to know. All the other valve springs look really good. Doesn't look like there's any issues with any of the other ones, just that one. So I believe what we're going to do is just try to replace that one, put it back together, and see how it runs. But I know I'm excited and relieved to find that that was the issue. And well, somehow when I turned the camera around, I hit the button and ended it, or stopped the video. But so, you know, up until this point, we didn't know what was going on. The head looked to be in good shape. There wasn't any major issues with the top of the block and the pistons. So we didn't really know what was going on, which was kind of uneasy for us. But finding this, you know, first being able to find the valve that wasn't closing, you know, led us to this point to where we were able to find the spring, you know, look at that specific valve because we knew what we were looking for, and see that the spring was broken. And so we'll be able to go from there and get that replaced. And, you know, it's relieving for us to find that. So we actually, you know, found a major problem in what we're pretty sure is, you know, the overriding issue overall. So we feel good about that. Happy to have found that. We're just going to check over the rest of the head just to make sure everything, all the other valve springs and valves and rockers and all that are in good shape. And then I think we're just going to replace the valve and start putting it back together. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for sticking around and watching. We are very happy that we found that the valve stem was broken and we can get that fixed. Shouldn't be too difficult. So now we're just going to get that part ordered, get it in, stick it back in there, and start putting the engine together. But thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the video. Stick around for the next part. We're looking forward to getting this thing back together. We'll see you.